Become a patron at www.patreon.com/Golden Era Bookworm for hard to find books, scans of rare photos, and articles on the golden era of bodybuilding. Hi everybody, Golden Era Bookworm here. Imagine being able to step back in time into Vince's gym and having Vince Gironda as your personal trainer for a full year or more. Not possible? Think again. Today I have the pleasure of sharing Vince Gironda's masterpiece, a book he wrote years ago called The Masters Series, which gives you the opportunity to develop your ultimate physique the Vince Gironda way. The Masters Series was a book written by Vince Gironda probably around the 80s, I believe, and it contains 12 volumes covering over a full year of training at Vince's gym, each volume introducing the student through different nutritional diets and training programs designed to build muscle and burn fat. Each of the 12 volumes represents 1 month of personal training with Vince Gironda, at least. That is, each month has a different diet and training program. I'll repeat that again. Each month you have a different diet and training program, personally written by Vince Gironda, the Iron Guru himself. In total, there are actually 12 volumes representing more than 12 months. It actually represents 12 months of training, a 12 months training experience with Vince Gironda, basically like having Vince Gironda come back to life and train you for a full year, month by month, 1 month at a time. Each diet and training program has a theme and a principle, one building on top of the next, until at the end when Vince lays down his training course and diet for attaining competition level definition. Basically, you get ready for it's an excellent book for getting ready for competition. This book is unlike any other book Vince ever wrote and is essentially the accompanying book to Vince's The Wild Physique, which is more of an introduction to Vince's philosophy of training as well as his exercises and diets. The Wild Physique describes almost every exercise that Vince developed at Vince's gym and the diet programs that Vince used on his students, but the book doesn't, that is, The Wild Physique doesn't necessarily spell out how to use all the advanced techniques that are presented in The Wild Physique. The Masters Series does that and does it brilliantly. Today I'm going to break down each volume. I'm going to break each volume down and describe the nutritional diets and training programs as well as the principles and goals behind each month of training in the Vince Gironda's Master Series course, which is now available, of course, on my website for purchase. Enjoy. Now, getting straight into it, the first month really is an introduction, serves as an introduction to training the Vince Gironda way. And you basically are taught to detoxify your system first and then switch to a high protein diet with high protein and high fat diet. You're also supposed to learn the exercises taught by Vince Gironda. The diets consist of, firstly, using the lacto-ovo-vegetarian diet, which is basically salad and a protein drink that you follow for 5 days, 5 full days. And as Vince says, this actually detoxifies your system. And then you follow this for the rest of the 25 days with the 36 eggs a day diet, or a modified version of that, as much as you can tolerate, basically. Of course, with most of Vince's diets, you also get some basic supplementation starting you off on the first month. The program is an upper and lower body split where you do 2 exercises per body part, and the upper and lower body split are actually performed 3 times each week. So you do 3 upper body splits per week and 3 lower body splits per week on alternating days. In the second month of the Master Series, the student is introduced to the shock principle, which stimulates muscle hypertrophy through muscle confusion. And in this case, we are obviously not just changing the diets, as I mentioned before. The diets are changed every single month, but also the programs. The programs here on the second month involve supersetting, and I'll get to that in a minute. The diet given is a non-mixing diet called the Stone Age Nutrition Diet, with the rules that you're not supposed to mix protein with carbs, you're not supposed to mix starches with with simple carbs like fruit, and you're not supposed to mix protein with milk. Now, I just want to briefly state that this has not been shown to have any scientific benefit, but this is what Vince Gironda recommended, at least in this second month and in this particular book. That's all I want to say about that. Now, what's great is that you've got suggested meal plans, and that goes with every single month. That's the great thing. It's all laid out for you, and you just basically follow what Vince is saying. Of course, with every diet, Vince has basic supplementation, and now we begin to see some pre-bolic supplementation, such as liver tablets being introduced to the student, especially now that the student has detoxified and is now starting to really get into muscle building, especially now introducing a more advanced techniques such as supersetting. Now, you have a total of 5 supersets in a full body workout that needs to be performed 4 times a week. And you can choose the days, but basically each superset, which has opposite muscles such as biceps and triceps, are trained for 4 sets each. So you have 4 actual supersets. So biceps and triceps is 1 superset. So you have 2 sets per superset for a total of 8 sets of 8 repetitions. So for example, let's say you were doing your biceps, it would be 4 sets of biceps, 4 sets of triceps. That's 8 sets, all done in a superset fashion, with each superset for each muscle group being 8 repetitions. So basically, this is also teaching the student the very famous 8x8 training program that was advocated by Vince Gironda. Now, the theme and the goal behind the 3rd month is to create an illusion with your physique. Basically, to make the legs look long, to reduce the waist, and to widen the back, the delts, and really start thickening the upper chest. And Vince basically gives you the ideal program for this. He actually states that using a concentrated 6x6 workout using an upper-lower body split, and only using 1 exercise per body part that emphasizes, very important, that emphasizes the area of the muscle that will be worked, that will actually help in creating this illusion. This is the program that is given. And I really like that idea behind how he creates an illusion. He says if you put maximum effort on that 1 exercise that will help create that illusion, then you will get great results. That's why this particular program, although it might seem very unique, very interesting, very unorthodox, this is the way Vince actually would create shape in a physique. He would really concentrate on 1 exercise alone and work it hard. 6x6, 1 exercise per body part on an upper lower body split, with the upper lower and body split performed 3 times each in the week. The diet is Vince's ultimate muscle building diet, which is basically very heavy on eggs and steak, as well as basic supplementations. And at this point now, the student is taught to increase his pre-bolic supplementation. So now we're talking about liver, and we're talking about glandulars, organ tissues in tablet form are being introduced now to the student. The 4th month introduces the student to the triple split system using giant sets. The whole idea here is to shock the muscles again into growth, and because we just mentioned giant sets, here the student is introduced to using different exercises to work the single muscle group. The diet here on month 4 is a variant of the 36 eggs a day diet, eating as many eggs as possible. Here we have Don Peters shown in the photo. He used to eat up to 48 eggs a day, so that's a possibility on this particular diet. Basically, as Vince says, no limit with eggs. You can go as many as possible. Of course, with his supplementation, he still asks the student to continue with basic supplementations of vitamins and minerals, but the pre-bolic supplementations increase further. So now we're talking about liver tablets, just like before, glandulars, and even beef orchic tissue. So Vince really recommends the use of pre-bolics from now on, a very high amount of these supplements. The program, as I mentioned, is a triple split program where the back, pecs, and delts are performed on the first day, the arms on the second, and the legs on the third. This split is performed twice a week, so you train each muscle group twice a week. The giant sets involve, of course, many exercises for a single muscle group and either performing each exercise for 1 or 2 sets. And a lot of you might think, oh, that's not enough volume. But as Vince says, you are performing each set to absolute failure. And so if you're not reaching failure, that means you're not training with enough intensity. It's a very, very intense program for month 4. Month 5 introduces to one of Vince's favorite programs called A Muscle Has 4 Sides. The principle behind this particular course is to work 4 different exercises for the whole muscle. And I'll get to that in a minute. The diet is a variant of Vince's ultimate muscle building program, which involves lots of protein drinks and a lot of steak. And again, as with every month, the supplementation increases further every single month. The program of A Muscle Has 4 Sides, as the name suggests, basically you're going to be doing 4 different exercises per body part. However, you're only doing 1 set only, again, to complete failure. Every single set of every exercise is performed to complete failure. This is again done on a 3-day split. So basically you train your different body parts over 3 days, and you're going to perform the split, the 3-day split, twice a week, therefore giving your body parts the opportunity to train your body parts twice a week. Month 6 introduces the student to Vince's very famous 10-8-6-15 program, which probably a lot of young bodybuilders will not know or have never been exposed to, but a lot of old timers may remember. The principle again is to shock the muscle. Understand that these numbers represent repetitions. So you're going 10 reps, 8 reps, 6 reps, 15 reps. The whole idea here is to use different weights to work the muscle, the different types of muscle fibers in your muscle groups. Very, very intelligent of Vince Gironda. You're using very heavy weights, for example, for 6 repetitions, but very light weights for 15 repetitions. So in this way, again, Vince was a genius when it came to programming. Now, the diet that is actually used is Vince's ultimate muscle building program, which involves 3 solid meals a day and 3 protein drinks. Again, you're continuing your basic supplementation of vitamins and minerals, but your supplementation for prebolics is going even further for all those hormone precursors. If you don't know what prebolics is, I'm talking about hormone precursors. And further to these supplementation program, you're going to have kelp. Kelp is added in the program now to increase your iodine intake and to basically increase your metabolism further, which is going to lead to faster fat loss and hypertrophy. That's the whole idea of increasing the metabolism, because kelp, being rich in iodine, helps regulate the thyroid, which helps regulate your endocrine system, creating an anabolic environment and a fat burning environment. Now, the program, as I mentioned before, is the 10-8-6-15. It's an upper lower body split where you perform 3 upper body workouts and 2 lower body workouts per week using weights that you can handle for the exercises that are listed in this particular month. It's just 1 exercise per body part, but you basically set out the weights so that you can perform 10 reps, 8 reps, 6 reps, and 15 reps for that particular exercise. Vince Gironda teaches the student in month 7 to start specialization courses, basically. From here on, we really start preparing for advanced level of bodybuilding. In particular, with month 7, you're basically going to start shaping a lot more. And that's the whole principle behind the whole training program for month 7. The diet is a steak and eggs diet. Very, very simple. It's just steak and eggs with some salad. Again, you're going to continue with basic and prebolic supplementation, and more kelp is added to increase the metabolism even further. The program for month 7, which is a specialization program, is once again an upper lower body split where you're using 1 exercise per body part, and using these exercises per body part, 1 exercise per body part, sorry, you're going to perform 4 sets of 12 repetitions. And The split will be three upper body workouts performed each week and 2 lower body workouts performed each week. The 8th month of this particular course introduces the student to a much more advanced program called the push-pull triple split system, which I'm going to get to in a minute. It's not that complicated. Essentially, it's a triple split system performed over 3 days where you use a push-pull program. It's not as hard as it seems. But the whole idea now is that Vince is really starting to push the student. You've gone from some very basic training principles and diets to much more advanced programs now to really start upping the muscle hypertrophy. The diet, of course, that will support such advanced muscle building programs is the positive nitrogen balance diet, otherwise known as the 36 eggs a day diet. As before, you're going to be using quite a lot of supplementation, basic vitamins and minerals, lots of prebolic supplementation, and even more kelp to really drive your endocrine system to go into full anabolic mode. The program, as mentioned, is the 72-hour triple split program. Essentially, it means you're dividing your body parts over 3 days. And of course, this is performed twice a week, so you're training 6 days a week. Day 1 is pecs, triceps, and front delts, which is a push day. Day 2, back, biceps, and rear delts, a pull day. And day 3, legs. You're only using 1 exercise per body part, 3 sets of 12 reps for each exercise performed. Month 9 introduces the student to increased volume. That's right, with increased volume, this is going to drive hypertrophy even further. Again, to support this kind of increased volume, you're going to have to now use the diet of the very infamous diet from Vince Gironda, of course, the 36 eggs a day diet, or if you can handle it, even more. So if you can go up to 48 eggs a day, or 4 dozen eggs a day, even better. Again, you're going to be using basic supplementation, prebolics, increase further, and of course kelp. The program is an upper-lower body split, 3 upper body workouts, 2 lower body workouts per week, 4 sets of 12 reps for each exercise, and you're going to actually be doing 1 to 2 exercises per body part. I believe it's mostly for the upper body that you're doing 2 exercises per body part. Month 10 is a real specialization course with, again, the principle being here to shock the muscle. The specialization course emphasizes shape and hypertrophy in this month. The diet, I can only describe it as a specialization diet. That's the actual name that Vince actually uses. Very high protein, involving the consumption of eggs, steak, tuna, cottage cheese, lots and lots of salad, of course, to help with digestion. You're also going to be using a very, very advanced supplementation regime of prebolic supplementation, and of course, more kelp. The program is an upper-lower body split where you perform 3 upper body workouts and 3 lower body workouts per week. The sets and reps, I can't possibly put all of that in this page. It's just too much because it's different for each body part. You're performing at least 2 exercises per body part with a whole different range of sets and repetitions. That's why it's actually a specialization course. You're performing different reps for chest, for arms, for legs. Again, a very specialized course presented here by Vince Gironda. At month 11, as you can expect, you are taught some very, very advanced techniques now as you are reaching the end of Vince's Master Series course. You are learning such techniques as triple compounds, double compounds, supersets, flush sets, etc. A diet, again, very, very heavily protein-based, animal protein-based, that is, eggs, meat, protein drinks, the works. Advanced prebolics, again, lots of kelp to drive the anabolic environment in the body. The program involves, again, it's a triple split where you're performing arms on the first day, chest, lats, and delts on the second day, and legs on the third day. The sets and reps, again, different for every single body part, with several exercises performed for each body part. You're doing triple compounds, for example, for arms, double compounds for chest and lats and delts, supersets, etc. It's a very, very advanced course, month 11. The last volume of Vince's Master Series prepares you for competition. It is a 3-month program that essentially takes you from months 12, 13, and 14 ready for a competition. You're going to be following Vince Gironda's actual competition diet and training program these last 90 days or 3 months to achieve a competition level of definition. That's the actual goal of this particular last volume. You're going to be following a strict diet and training program for 90 full days to develop razor sharp definition. The diet, of course, as you can expect, is the maximum definition diet. The whole last volume of the Master Series is basically the maximum definition course. You follow the maximum definition diet, which is essentially steak and eggs with salad and very, very advanced supplementation. The program as I stated before, is also the maximum definition course. The program is split, so you train your upper body 3 times a week and your lower body 3 times a week. You only perform 1 exercise per body part. However, each month you're going to be performing different set regimens. For month 12, it's the 8x8. Month 13, it's the 6x6. And month 4, it's 4x12 reps. So this is the final volume of Vince Gironda's Master Series. If you've reached the end of this video, I thank you for your patience and I hope you've enjoyed the full explanation of Vince Gironda's The Master Series. Now, if you're interested in purchasing the Master Series by Vince Gironda, it's available on my website, www.goldenerabookworm.com, as well as many other Vince Gironda titles, such as the Wild Physique, the Maximum Definition course, and many, many more, including my own self-written book, Vince Gironda's Diets. All of these are available on my website. And finally, I'd just like to say, with the Vince Gironda's The Master Series, it would also really helps if you have the Wild Physique and the other booklets that he's actually written, because I guess with more knowledge, you'll understand more of the courses that are presented. All of these titles are available on my website, www.goldenerabookworm.com. So I do hope you've enjoyed watching this video on Vince Gironda's The Masters Series. If you have, please give the video a thumbs up and let me know if you actually start this course. A lot of people nowadays, of course, wish that they had the opportunity to train with Vince Gironda, and of course this course represents that opportunity. We cannot all stand next to Don Howarth, Larry Scott, Freddie Ortiz, and all the other greats, and all these other bodybuilders that are standing here. I wish we could, but this is probably the closest thing that any of us can ever try to experience what it is to train at Vince's gym. It's a brilliant book. I hope you've enjoyed again my brief, not very brief, but I've tried to make each volume, the explanation for each volume, give you the essence of each volume, the diets and programs, and the goals and principles behind each. And I do hope sincerely that you've enjoyed the video. Again, the book is available on my website if you wish to try it out. And if you do, please let me know. Get in touch. Send photos of your progress. I'd love to know how you go. If you've enjoyed watching the video, please give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't to the Golden Era Bookworm. Leave me a comment and thank you for watching. If you'd like to support my work, please donate via PayPal. You can become a patron or visit my website for out-of-print books and courses on old school bodybuilding. And yeah, what else can I say? Yeah, email me if you wish to collaborate, of course, or pass on your bodybuilding books, relics, photos, whatever. That's it for me. Hope you've enjoyed the video. This is the Golden Era Bookworm. Bye for now. To take full advantage of my affiliation with NSP Nutrition and Old School Labs, please visit their respective websites and use codes GUB20 or Bookworm12 to get a discount off their selected products. And for an entertaining look at the history of bodybuilding's supplement industry, I would highly recommend watching Subs the Movie, which I have collaborated in, available at Amazon Prime and Vimeo.